As a career coach, it was really common for people to actually come up to me and say, I'm not happy in my current role. Most people didn't come to me and sort of say, I'm really happy, I just wanted to tell you about it. They sort of come to you because they're at a point where they kind of feel stuck. So they might feel stressed, overworked, but in most instances it was more sort of bored and unfulfilled would be probably more likely emotion that someone would be experiencing. So in this video, I'm going to talk about what to do if you're not happy in your current job. So first of all, I want to say that I'm excited for you. If you're unhappy in your job, I'm excited for you because you are actually likely to do something about it. If you're watching this video, then it shows that you are committed to action of some kind. Now that action might happen in a week, a month, a year, 10 years, whatever it is, things will change for you. Nothing stays the same. So rather than me feeling sorry for you about your situation, I'm excited for you because that's a better point to be when thinking about growth. So I want you to be excited for you about opportunities that present themselves. Whenever someone's unsatisfied in a role, I always think you just need to zoom out. Okay, if you look over your entire career, have you been unsatisfied for every single job? No, there's probably moments where you've been really satisfied and you will get to that point again. Okay, so mindset, which is what I'm kind of getting at there, is a big part of it. It's hard to be looking for other things when you feel stuck and you feel unmotivated. So just knowing that better things will happen could give you the clues to actually go forward. One of the things I'd really encourage you to think about is don't worry if you don't know what you want to do next. Totally normal. I've done a video on that. Have a look through that. Don't worry about it if you don't know what you want to do. In fact, it's better not to know because then every opportunity may be possible for you. So if you're unhappy in your current role, I would look at, is there anything about your current role that can be changed? Because changing jobs and everything else can be quite stressful. It can take a lot of time. So we always start with what we have most control over. And I always, with clients, I'd ask them, is it recently you're unhappy? Has it been over an extended period of time? Can you track when it sort of happened? And sometimes for people, it might be like they got a new boss and, the priorities changed, or there was a restructure, or there was some change where someone didn't feel like they were doing what they kind of signed up for, or they just kind of fell out of love with the particular job. So asking them when has it changed gives an indication of could it change back without any intervention from you whatsoever? Or is it likely to keep going downhill? And people may say, well, I want to advance in my role, in my team, but people have been there for 30 years and it doesn't look like they're changing. So, but we always want to think about, is there anything that we can do in our current role? So think about things like, do I have flexibility about the task? Can I craft a job in a way that I can be doing more of the things that I enjoy? Now, most people will craft a job as much as they can to make it fit for them. That's normal and natural for people to do that. But there's only so much bend you can do before it actually isn't the right role for you. So look at what are the things that you can do about the way you structure your day. Is there things that can be delegated to other people so that they can learn some of the things that you don't enjoy? They might be really keen to do some of that stuff. So is there something that you can delegate to other people so you can do more of what you want? Is there something that you can learn from other people? So think about within the control that you have, is there things that you can do more of that you enjoy? The other thing is, are you open to having a conversation with your team leader about how you're feeling? Now, working in HR, I've always had very good team leaders that I could have really open dialogue about how I was feeling. Now, I recognize this is probably not common in a lot of areas, but I think there is a level of conversation that you can have with a leader. So how would I structure a conversation like this? I would say something like, I'm trying to be more excited and interested in the type of work that I do. The current work that I do at the moment doesn't interest and excite me as much as it used to. So are you open to having a conversation about how I could get some more interest and excitement in my work? That could be one approach. Notice I haven't said things like I'm bored or this job sucks. And if you have an open dialogue with your manager, you may be that direct, but a team leader might get defensive if you are really openly disclosing your disgust or hatred for a position. They might be like, well, find something else, or well, that's not my problem, or, so we want to be starting with the where you want to head rather than lingering on what's not working. So we really want to focus on the positive. I really want to be more challenged in my position. Can we talk about that? I really want to focus more on some of the things that I enjoy. Are you open to having a conversation around that? I really want to get your support to find other opportunities that are a better fit. Are you open to that? So there's, depending on the relationship, it's just asking those open and broad questions to see how much buy-in. So if your team leader is not open, that's okay. It's a really good indication that you probably need to find something else. If your team leader is open, just start having those conversations. It might be several conversations to figure things out. Like, chances are if it was an easy fix, it would have happened already, but we're just kind of starting that dialogue, and changes happen over time. You plant a seed and then you keep chipping away at it. So if you've decided that actually there's probably no opportunity in your current role to change enough for you to be satisfied, then the next thing to do is, okay, well, what else is available for me? Often it's easier to look within the organization you're in at the moment, because you obviously do have existing relationships, you know the systems and processes, and you kind of know what you're in for. So most of the time in career guidance, when I talk to people, they'd sort of say, well, I don't really like my role, but I like the organization. So that's where our focus tended to be initially. But sometimes people kind of felt like, actually, this organization isn't a really good fit for me anymore, for whatever reason that may be. But I'd really encourage you to look, is there something else in the organization that you're curious about? Is there other people that you think in the organization you want to learn from? Because once you leave that organization, you kind of leave those learning relationships as well. So I always think about if you've decided to leave, think about it as like, if in 12 months time I pulled the pin and I decided to leave, what would I want to learn in that 12 months? And you might want to connect with other people, you might want to have learning conversations, you might want to do lots of different things. I'd really encourage you to think about, okay, there is a learning process of I've been in organizations where I've been like, I don't think this is the right role, but like, what is? Like, where do I go? And I think some of that is just having conversations with people in the organization and just being open and honest and sort of saying, hey, have you ever been at a time where you kind of like were looking for other opportunities? I'm at that time at the moment. Could I buy you a coffee and talk about what you do? Or you could say, I'm really interested in learning and growing my career. Could I buy you a coffee and hear about what you do? Could I work shadow you or someone in your team for a day and learn more about what your team does? So, there are things that you'll need team leader support for. Like if you're work shadowing, chances are you want to be paid. So, you probably do need to get team leader buy-in. But most people have some flexibility that they can have coffees or lunches or whatever with specific people without requiring permission. So I'd really encourage you to look at your organization and think, who can I learn from? So we always start with kind of our existing networks and then we broaden it out. So who else on LinkedIn could I connect with? And so forth. I'd also encourage you to think about, are there other areas of my life that I could get energy from while I'm not feeling as fulfilled in my current role? Because what happens sometimes, if you're really unsatisfied with what you do, going to work every day is a bit of a grind and it can really impact on your mental health. So I'd really encourage you to think about, are there hobbies in your life or interests that you have in your life that you could really ramp up? Because if you think about like overall happiness, if you think about, and there's like happiness wheels, right? Where you're kind of like, if you think about where you put your health, where you put your relationships, where you put your career, where you put your finances, it's very rare that you'd have equal parts of that wheel in all dimensions. Sometimes we spend more time in our relationships, which means that our work may suffer, or we spend vice versa. We spend so much time at work that our relationships suffer. So it's like, what's the balance that's kind of ideal for you? So when you're stuck or unhappy at work, is there other switches that you can turn on that you can work more on your health so you feel fit and active and more vibrant in life, so that when you're at work, you can suffer through it, but you're at least feeling fulfilled in parts outside of work. Where it's a real danger is where everything implodes, where nothing seems to be going the way it should. And that's where you should probably seek professional help to work through that. And that brings me to the next point. If you're feeling stuck and it's affecting your mental health, A lot of organizations have employee assistance programs, so free counseling that's available to employees. And often this is confidential and is flexible, so that it could be done online or it could be done face to face. Having this available is such a gift, and you should probably use it when you actually have things available. Now, people often worry, will that get back to my manager? The core fundamentals of those processes are confidentiality. It's likely that they will keep a record of how many people from a particular work area access something, but they're not going to name you and they're not going to link a specific issue to you. So it's not necessarily confidential in terms of the number of people that sign up, but it is, or where they're from, but it's confidential about what's actually being discussed, and specifically name by name who has access. That tends to be the confidentiality that's applied. However, it can be really great just to chat things through with someone and just be open and honest with a psychologist or a social worker or whoever it is, to actually say, at the moment, I'm not feeling it with where I work. And then they'll ask you lots of open questions to get you thinking about, well, what's important for you at work? What are your priorities? What are the things that really, you want to get out of work? That's a really good question. Like, what do you want to get out of work? What do you want work to give you that it's not currently giving you at the moment? And those big open questions are really something that's discussed with someone, because a lot of the times we're like, I don't know, if I knew it, I would have done something about it. But having that conversation with someone, they'll dig a bit deeper and you say you don't know, but tell me the things that energize you at the moment. Tell me the things that really drain your energy. And when you're talking through all these issues, suddenly you get a much clearer picture of things. Being stuck or unhappy is often temporary in a job. So knowing that it's going to get better in the future is a really good reminder. If you talk to people in the organization and you say to them, have you ever been in a position where you felt like you haven't enjoyed a job? I guarantee you 100% of people will put their hand up. So everyone's been in positions and has been where they haven't really been feeling it. So if you're feeling it at the moment, not feeling it at the moment, it's really normal. And just remind yourself of that. Anyway, these are just some off the top of my head ideas that I've thought through as a career coach. Seeking out a career coach could be really useful as well. But reaching out to lots of people and asking for their advice can be really useful. So best of luck in your career. It will get better for you. I'm excited for you that new things are happening around the corner for you, and let me know how you get on. Best of luck in your journey. All right, see you later. Bye-bye now.